Let's say you go out on the town on a Friday night with your dame on your arm. You have a few laughs, maybe go dancing, have a few drinks. But then some wise guy comes up and starts giving you a hard time. He's showing you up in front of your boys and your girl. But you can't take that, can you? So what do? You give him the business. That's what I say. Give him the business.
Alright, so this recipe is a Sasha Petraske original, and is basically a bee's knees with lime juice instead of lemon. It's also a classic Petraske pun. The bee's knees, the business, get it? Anyway, to mix it up, grab a cocktail shaker and combine 3/4 of an ounce of honey syrup, 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, and 2 ounces of your preferred gin. Now, to follow the Petraske method, gently add a single large cube of ice and allow it to temper in the liquid for a few seconds to prevent it from shattering the moment you start to shake. Then, once you begin shaking, do so very vigorously to froth the honey and continue until you can hear that large ice cube has broken apart. This will ensure the cocktail has both the proper texture and dilution in one shaking session. Strain into a coupe and serve. And that, my friends, is the business.
All right, best part of the video. Time to give this thing a taste and tell you guys my thoughts. Cheers. Wow, I've had the business a few times before, but I think this is the best one I've ever had, and it's all about that gin. So I know I featured this in a bunch of videos so far, and I don't know how common it is, but the Rainier Beer Company is local to me, and I saw this in the grocery store and decided I had to give it a try. It's made with huckleberry, juniper, and spruce. And man, something about this combination is really bringing out that blueberry flavor. Oh, it's so tasty. It's really, really fruity. You definitely get the honey flavor and lime. It's a really simple cocktail, so your gin choice is really going to turn this in a number of different directions, you know. I would definitely encourage you to use something that is powerfully botanical and has a lot of flavor to it. I think that choosing something like that is going to bring a lot more interest and character to a cocktail like this. Maybe even a rose gin would work. I don't know. I'm worried that the honey might overpower it, but some people like to get really creative with their honey choices. I'm a little bit more pedestrian, I guess, with that, but I like to experiment with the gin, and that Rainier gin is so good. The huckleberry is, I mean, it's funny because I accidentally said blueberry earlier because the honey, lime, and that gin kind of makes it almost taste like blueberry, which is really good. This drink really makes you salivate. I don't know if that's specifically the honey, but man, it makes your mouth water. Every time I take a sip, I'm like, I have to swallow a couple of times because it just zaps your mouth in the best way possible, you know? So it's really interesting with this drink. Regarding cocktails, with every recipe, they include some sort of little anecdote or story about Sasha, and they're usually told either by his wife or bartenders who used to work for him. And the anecdote on this drink is that Sasha wouldn't serve it to a dog if it wasn't exactly right. And I gotta say, that really is true. I have had this so many times before, and it wasn't right. Like, I followed the recipe, I didn't fudge the measurements, but I think my gin choice and the tartness of the limes they just didn't line up with each other. And so my experience was that it was a little sour, a little bit flat, and I've always preferred the bee's knees. But the thing about the bee's knees is that it's so easy to get right. Like, you can use pretty much any gin with it and it's going to be good. It's so delicious. I mean, if you like honey. If you don't like honey, then, you know, you're gonna hate both of these. But it really is finicky. Like, this is better than any bee's knees I've ever had, but it's the first one I've ever had that was like that. And I've probably made, realistically, 10 of these, I think, for myself and for other people at cocktail parties, which for a home bartender, I think if you made a cocktail 10 times, That's kind of a lot, actually. I don't always finish the cocktails that I make on the show because I film a bunch of them in a day and I don't really want to get hammered. I'm drinking all of this. This is so good. If you like the video, hit the button. If you don't like the video, please hit the other button and let me know why in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Luke and this is the Homemade Edition. So I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, cheers.